Yo, good people. Guess what? I have a Patreon now. Yes. Oh, yes. I have a Patreon. The link is in the description. What comes with the Patreon? Well, you will officially be a member of the RAs. That's what I'm calling my Patreon supporters. The RAs for Ryan Anthony. Of course, you'll get early access to the Thank You Five podcast before it airs on YouTube. Along with that, you'll even get access to my music. Yes, I do still make music. I still mix music, but I have no proper platform to share it to. So if you subscribe and sign up, a part of my Patreon, you'll get access to that as well. And for the true Patreon supporters, you'll even get to watch the process of how I make the music, and you'll even get to see my process and how I go about characters, writing certain scenes for scripts, and the content that I create. Yes, you will get behind the scenes fully if you sign up for that top tier of the Patreon. And guess what? Guess how much that top one costs? Only $5 a month. The second one's only $4, and the most basic one is $3. So please, every cent counts, and every subscriber is a blessing to me. And it supports me and allows me to continue to be the light that God has allowed me to be and to do the things that I love doing. And that's making y'all smile, laugh, and feel great and encouraged. So please, support the Patreon and join the RAs. All right, enough of that. On to the episode. What up again, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Thank You Five podcast with your boy, Ryan Anthony, and Squeaky Chair.
Oh.
Today, I am joined today by a very good friend, actually.
This is my cousin. Don't do that.
I'm more like her unofficial brother.
Little brother.
Than anything.
Clarity. Little brother.
Younger brother.
Little.
Younger.
Lil.
Younger.
L-I-L, not L-I-T-T.
L-I-L.
My little bro.
I'm here today with Bria Now Spires, officially.
I know, right?
Signed the papers.
That's crazy. No, listen. That was a process, okay? Mm-hmm. In my mind, I was doing it for years. I planned on doing it. Almost 3 years ago.
Okay, how come you didn't do it when y'all got married?
Ryan, it was so much happening after we got married. We got married, then we I really moved into our apartment.
The one in Hyattsville.
Yeah, Hyattsville. Yeah. And then right after that, we found out we were expecting. Mm-hmm. 6 weeks later. 6 weeks later, Mother's Day. Well, so that was like maybe 7 or 8 weeks. And then like that was consuming. Mm-hmm. Then I was working and I was trying to, I again wanted to do the paperwork, but I didn't know anybody that had done it to ask because my friends didn't get married until after us.
Right.
So November came around. Then I talked to Rochelle. She told me and I was like, oh, that seemed like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Never did it because I don't like mailing stuff. It's just, I'm in a
face-to-face type
person?
Yeah, okay.
I'll drop something off to you and you can do it on the computer while I'm sitting there. And then had Aubrey, moved again.
And so now y'all are in Mount Rainier.
Right, Rainier. In the hood. Man, that was crazy. It was a lot going over there.
What, really?
Yes, it was just a lot going on. People were outside like fighting and
really?
We were hearing the love and hip hop kind of arguments in the dead of night.
That's hilarious. That had never happened when I went over there.
And then it was like kids that were like abandoned on some rainy. I was coming back from the supermarket and there were a little girl and a little boy, no clothes on, in the rain.
Are you serious?
Yes, and we were out there for so long. Called the cops. And I think the little girl had autism, and then the little boy, he was like 3, but he didn't have any speech yet. And the cops came out, put him in the car, put blankets on them and everything, and they took him to the hospital because it wasn't like somebody ran up behind him like, oh, I was putting them in the bath and they just got out the house. No, like we were out there for at least an hour. Nobody came for these kids. This was in like the height of the pandemic when I think a lot of people were really going crazy. Like, wasn't used to their kids being home all the time. Wasn't used to be having to feed their children all day, every day.
People don't understand how hungry children get.
Yeah. So,
children, oh my, they
and that's
don't stop eating.
Yeah. And it's a big financial strain too.
Yeah.
You know, like school takes some of that weight off of it.
Right.
And
like with people with free lunch, and then it's just somewhere for them to be. They're structured.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think there was a high like drug population there too. So there's just a lot going on over that place. So yeah, that happened. Then I definitely didn't file my paperwork. And then we moved here, and then my best friend got her marriage license and then did her paperwork, and I was like, okay, like I have to do this now. And now I have my ID officially. Maryland IDs are ugly, but but I'm now officially a Maryland resident. Before I was just gonna go back to Delaware.
You was gonna go all the way to Delaware
and get it done there.
You were gonna drive
an hour and a half
to Delaware just to do that.
Yes, because I didn't want to mail nothing
in. You didn't want to mail nothing in.
No, because I don't like Maryland. I want by Delaware stuff. But now I'm officially a Maryland resident with the last name Spires. So
shout outs to y'all. So the person that she's talking about, her husband, Julian Spires, if you guys, he was on my very first episode of the Thank You Five podcast, and Bria is on this episode. It might be one day I can get both y'all on here.
I thought you were talking about I thought you were about to say you're gonna have Aubrey on here. I'm like,
I think that would be cute, but I think that would work more as like an actual video of me talking to Aubrey.
Yes.
I can even have like little Nate. Little Nate can get on here too.
He's gonna be asleep, but
that's fine. I can just have him on there. So yeah, Julian being her husband. I'm gonna talk about Bria for a little bit. I met Bria before they got married, before y'all were even engaged. And it was so random how I met you guys. So, right.
I don't remember.
I remember. So, this was during the time when I was working for Julian at Ron Brown as essentially his assistant band director and kind of just liaison over the drum line. It was a random day. I came in before the season started, before the school year started, and I came up there to fix drums.
Okay.
And it was over the summer.
Still not ringing a bell.
When I walked in, you and him were in the band room, like just in the classroom.
Okay.
And I kind of just was like, oh, hello. He formally introduced, and you weren't looking. You kind of like stepped off a little bit, and I asked him. I was like, is she? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, because at the time, I still didn't know much about Julian's personal life. Obviously, he and I are like brothers, but still, the less I know about people, the better off I usually am.
Oh,
I'm not one of those. I don't like asking a whole rack of questions of stuff I don't need to know. So I was like, if they don't tell me, clearly I didn't need to know.
Oh Lord.
So, yeah, and that was my first time like meeting you. We didn't really like talk, but as like we got into the school year and you started coming around a lot more.
Yeah, I feel like. So I don't remember the first instance, but I remember instances during the school year that I would see you for band and stuff like that, and you would help. But yeah, I don't. And then you would get in the car with us, and then I think that's when we would have like maybe a little conversation. But that's crazy. I definitely don't remember that first instance. I had a lot going on, man. That was a different time.
Yeah.
So, I was like working for the government. It was just a lot. It's a dark moment. A lot of things I did not want to do.
So yeah, coming up there all the time, like obviously, you know what I'm saying, developing a friendship with Bria. And then we did Pangs of Freedom. I think this is after you guys got married.
I think we were engaged. I don't think we were married yet.
Yeah. Probably. Y'all probably engaged. Because... And then I worked at y'all wedding.
No, I worked at our wedding.
I did, because I was running sound.
You ran sound.
I ran sound.
You recorded our video of all of us singing. That's on YouTube, too. Of my choir friends singing Powerful God, which is really dope. Because I don't think I would have had it. I didn't think about any of that.
Right, but you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have had to think
that's
about
true
it.
too. But I mean, I should have been prepared. Like I didn't prepare for anything. No, it's not true. I prepared for a lot of stuff, but a lot of small
prepared to
things.
get married.
Right, exactly. A lot of small things went under the rug. Like, funny, we didn't even have an organist so my great aunt sang. Remember, but I didn't know who was going to play the organ because
I forgot who played.
JR, one of my friends from Philly, he was a wedding guest. He was just a guest. He was not in the wedding.
Because the rehearsal the day before Julian played.
Right. And Morris played, Morris, David, and Julian all played the organ and the piano.
For those who, they were Julian's groomsmen?
Yes.
Right.
David was the best man. Morris was a groomsman. They all played the organ. Jonathan even plays the organ. None of them played the organ.
Notice how I wasn't even up for consideration.
To do what?
To be a groom's, nothing. They said, you upstairs. They sent me
Ryan.
to the balcony. I wasn't seen by nobody.
Where you did a fantastic job. You were working in your gift and your calling, and you did great. I have nothing to do with that. I picked my bridesmaids. Everything else was just not my responsibility. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we had like JR come over and play the organ, which I mean I appreciate to this day.
Right.
But in my mind, I didn't know who was on the organ at that moment. I was just singing. I was just singing. And then I didn't realize that till the reception, we had.
I didn't even stay for the whole reception, so I didn't even see all of it.
I don't even remember seeing you at the reception. No,
I went with y'all to the reception.
You took our pictures right outside the reception place.
See?
Yeah, man.
So after that, and then find out that they're now pre-expires, their first child.
Yeah.
That was a whole experience just for me. Cause,
right.
Because I had never really had to deal. Well, obviously, I can't even say dealing with you.
Yes.
I had never been around someone who was pregnant for that long, like full on. I was not to say I was pregnant there from start to finish, but I was seeing you on a weekly basis.
Yeah, you were
and like a couple
often at that point.
Because that's when we were moving into theater stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing that whole thing, and then seeing how you and Julian would interact as you were going through the motions, and then him just telling me like, "Hey, this is how I've dealt with her being pregnant. So just keep this." You were
learning life.
Yeah, I was learning life as I'm just here to help play music and then to act on occasion, because I don't know if you were pregnant during Pangs of Freedom or even going into King.
King, I was because we were married at that point.
Right.
Pangs of Freedom, no, because you ain't gonna have me sitting up here having people thinking we was fornicating for them.
Just shacking.
Yeah, exactly. People gonna set me up. That was not the case, y'all. That did not happen.
So I think around the time when she got pregnant, that's when we started getting a little closer.
Yeah.
Because then I would be coming over a lot more often too.
Yeah.
But
you cooked for us the one time.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
I don't remember what you cooked,
but
I think
either.
it was good. Well.
No, it was breakfast.
Yes.
I made breakfast for you guys because Jeremiah was here too.
Mm-hmm.
And I made breakfast. It was French toast.
Mm-hmm. Eggs and turkey bacon.
Yep.
Yep.
Real chill. This is
Yeah,
when y'all
were
were
good.
in Mount Rainier.
Yeah, I think I wanted you to make wings, so I don't know how you got to the breakfast part, but
I
the
don't know
wings
either.
never happened because that's like your whole thing.
It's not so. I need to get this out of the car. I bought Baron gifts. I bought you both a slice of pound cake.
I saw you made the pound cake again. When did you make it for? Just because?
Yeah, we're moving up. We're getting because 1, 2, 3 speak. We're moving to a year of when she passed, August 30th, which coincidentally is my first day of my senior year. So that's gonna be an interesting day.
But that's very reflective.
It is.
It's
super reflective.
An opportunity for newness to happen,
Yeah.
and then you were reflecting on the fact that somebody important to you.
Yeah, so the first day of my senior year, because she would have been one of the first people I called.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, like letting her know how my first day went. So I mean, I have an opportunity to still bring her with. I have her watch.
Yeah.
One of her watches that I wore. I wore it to Tale of Terror, which just happens to be the movie that I'm in by 1939 Studios, which is on Amazon Prime. I just want to throw that out there.
Not all these plugs.
But I wore that, so it's just like it was almost like I was bringing her with me. So I'll definitely be making sure that I wear it my first day. And yeah, so it was just I just felt like making one. And I knew I wasn't gonna. I usually don't eat the stuff that I make.
Really?
Yeah. Simply because of I know how big I'll get if I keep eating it. And I know how good it is. So it's like a lot of times
I eat everything that I make for the most
most
part.
of the time, I'll try like the smallest part of it just to make sure everything's copacetic.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, I try not to because again,
that's a lot going on with that pancake.
It's a lot.
Like I don't make that kind of stuff.
And the reason why I wanted to bring it to y'all specifically is because when I made one for your Friendsgiving, I messed up.
It was still good to me.
Right, but
you
it's
were
like
eating it out the freezer and everything. Couldn't tell.
So I missed out a very important ingredient, like pretty much the most important ingredient. So this one is like my redemption cake. So I'm like, all right, y'all really gonna know what this joint is hitting on.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny, she has like a plethora of stuff that I've only made like 3 desserts. Really 4.
So you've had your grandmother a lot longer than I had mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad's mom passed away when I was essentially a baby.
Right.
And then my mom's mom I had the longest, but she passed away right before we moved to Delaware. So I was 13 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the biggest transition of my life, moving to Delaware from being in Philly forever. And she passed away a few weeks before we moved. And that was hard because, like you said, she would probably be the first person you would call to tell like life changing stuff. She was like probably the only person I would call.
Yeah.
Like I would tell her everything, and I felt like she understood everything. So that was rough because it was just like, well, who do I tell about me starting at this new school with all these white people, and I want to do sports, but I don't know if they're gonna like me. Or
and it's like you don't realize how much, like how big it. Like I talked to her in terms of the people that I didn't live with more than probably anybody else.
Yeah.
Because she would most of the time she would make her rounds and she would call everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know what I'm saying, certain it would normally just to check in. So sometimes those conversations wouldn't be no longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty often thing. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't realize, it's actually like you don't realize how much that she did until you realize she can't do it anymore.
Right.
So,
yeah. And
wow.
it was I don't know, like I think you see the value so much more after the fact, which kind of sucks too.
But that's normally with everything.
Yeah, but I was just like, who do I talk to about everything? I'm moving here, and I feel this kind of way, and even for my mom, that was a big transition for her, and she would talk to my grandmother every morning. I would hear her as I'm waking up every morning on the phone with my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mommy, what you doing? Understand that they're talking about us, probably about something we did crazy.
Right.
But she would talk to her every day. So, I mean, you've at least had your grandmother into your adult years. I was like 13, hormonal imbalance, going through the whole
when it starts too.
Yes. Going through the motions of dating and this and that, and I don't know what this is, and my mom's tripping. I'm like, girl, where's your mom? Where's your mom? Because I'd like to talk to her. But I think I brought a lot of who she is into my adulthood, not even on purpose, just
it's just instinctive.
Yeah,
at this point.
like entrepreneurship. That was her thing. Like she was selling stuff out the back of her car when we were kids, sweatsuits and all kinds of stuff, houseware.
That's actually hilarious.
And I don't think about it until now, but how innovative I am just by seeing her be innovative and not be scared to talk to people or ask people questions or even promote your own stuff. Or
let me tell you something about this woman right here. Her foot is in everything. She got her foot in every door. She's a mother. And now about to be a mother of 2.
Yeah.
When is he supposed to be here?
November. The beginning of November.
I'm tired of these. Not everybody not have September children.
No.
More September children.
He's the first week of November. He don't need to be out in September.
You sure he can't? Like just give him a little nudge.
No, because he'll be in a little box.
Just to see how he's feeling. And it's like, hey.
He'll be in a box in the hospital for weeks.
Okay.
If he's born in September.
That's fine.
Right.
She's also, obviously, she's a wife.
Yeah, man, that's a job by itself.
She's a first lady, even though she doesn't like to be called it, but you are.
I'm just going to skip over that.
Is he not a pastor? Is your husband not a pastor?
Mm-hmm.
Are you not his wife?
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, you are his first lady. Did you say it to him being his wife?
I mean, I guess you can say that.
And it's so unique just to like the relationship that I have with the both of you, because a lot of the husband and wives that I'm around, like whether it's at church, they're older.
Yeah.
So y'all were like the first young couple I was around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because Julian's only 2 years older than me. I turned 23 in September, and
he's 3 years older than you, fam. He's 26.
He is 26. Okay, 3 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna ask how
probably
old you are.
Probably around 4. He's younger than me, so.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ask you how old you are because
I'm 27.
I mean, okay, cool. Let the record show. She told me how old she was.
Yeah,
I did not ask.
27 years old.
But I was like, that's like a whole thing. You never ask a woman how old she is.
How old woman? I'm not old.
Okay, so she's 27. So it's like most of the couples that I'm around, they're like 30s, 40s, 50s, and up.
That's interesting because I think I have not the same thought process. Like even before Julian and I were together, I had a lot of young couples around me, even married young couples. So for us to be the first, that's crazy. But then you were around our friends.
I wouldn't say the first
or
one like probably the closest
in age.
Yeah, and just
and in
relationship. Because I've been around. I know young couples and like we're good, but I wasn't around them as much as I'm around the two of you.
No, I spent a lot of time. It just so happened, like, even the church I was going to before had a lot of younger married couples, which in some cases was kind of awkward because it's just like, oh, am I late? am I not making it in or something? Like, am I missing the cue? But I think it just showed me how you don't have to be old and married. You can be young. Like, you can still do life. And I think that's what a lot of times people, when we got engaged, were like concerned, quote unquote, concerned about. They were like, you sure you want to get married? You still got this? And I'm like why can't I do this with you?
Right.
I just don't get that part. It's like, why not grow up together? Why not figure out major things together instead of figuring it out apart?
Right.
I think that makes a relationship stronger. So.
Right. Because he was like, and even especially being a young couple in Christ.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that saved people can't have fun.
Right.
Like they just think they literally think
most people think
that saved people have to give. It's like it's like they think we're nomads, and they think we let go of. I'm using like an Avatar reference, but it's like we have to let go of our earthly tether.
Yeah.
And it's like we can't enjoy nothing
instead of finding like-minded people and finding ways to make salvation and a Holy Ghost filled life.
Right. You can go on vacation with saved people. You can go to events with saved people.
Yeah.
You can like. And even still, I'll even say this because, you know what I'm saying, you guys are younger, so you guys get it. You can go to places that necessarily aren't for, quote, church people.
And
but more so, that's like the older church generation. For example, so Julian is a musician along with being a teacher, and he's trained in jazz.
Yeah.
Obviously, jazz isn't gospel. But if Julian wanted to go see a live jazz band, he's not compromising his faith for that.
Right.
He's going to see jazz music.
And
you're allowed to go with him as his wife, and you guys can have fun at that event as children of God. And
I don't think people realize how much of a blessing it is to be the example in those spaces. Because if you're in a place, if you are only in places where you are the majority, what you believe is the majority, what you know to be true is a majority, you don't really have the opportunity to minister to anybody. You don't really have the opportunity to really shine your light.
Like, how I'm gonna be the light? Yeah,
it's
how
lit
are we
already
be,
in those
how
places.
are we going to be the light if we're about a bunch of other lights?
Exactly. Why not? And then I think then it comes down to when people even ask you about, oh, where did you go? Oh, I went to this. Really? Why would you go to that? Because I wanted to see something. And even in that space, you might find somebody you know, and they're like, oh, you're here, and then you ain't dressed like them, and like, okay, you look different. Okay, you're doing other things different. You ain't got a cup in your hand. And I think, a lot of those I've known, especially for young people, is like you have to go to those places and still be the exact same person that you are, and they will see that, oh, hold on, I have the ability to be like that without being compromised in any situation.
Anyway.
Sometimes those are the spaces that strengthen your faith. Because if I say, I was just telling Julian this the other day because we went to Temple to be nostalgic because we were in Philly, and we went with our
God.
other friends who are from Temple too. So, we went to Temple with our other friends too, and I was telling him, I was like, I want to go to pub, and it's a bar, but I want to go there because when I say they have the best wings I've ever had in my life, best in my life, and I was like, I was just going to place my order on the phone and go in there and get them, but they weren't open yet, so there's that. But
They weren't open because of COVID, or they just weren't open?
It just was earlier in the day.
Okay,
like it's a bar, they'd probably be open till like 5.
Got it.
But they weren't open yet, and I was like,
Imagine
dang.
that bar open at like 11 a.m.
Yeah, for breakfast.
Breakfast and beer?
Yeah,
Sounds like a great time.
Well, when you was just sitting, maybe. But then again, I don't think people wake up that early. They're still hungover from the night before.
That's true.
It's either you're hungover or you're living in the last few hours of your stability because you were up all night.
Well,
Just too much confusion.
Right.
But, and in the back of my mind, I was thinking about like how many instances I was in there not in my right mind, not in a good place, and now I'm just going in there for wings.
Just wings.
Blessings of the Lord. I said, hey, I came out of that.
Right.
I will go in there for some wings
And
and
walk
then come
right
on
out.
out.
Maybe a cup of water.
A little juice or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they got
They
Sprite.
got regular
They got
stuff.
some
Not
fountain
ginger
beverages.
ale.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You said
but
ginger ale?
They definitely have ginger
I don't know
ale.
what it is. I don't know what ginger ale is with mothers.
It's so good. I don't know what it is.
Does ginger ale just
either.
taste better
It
after you
just
have
tastes
kids?
Great.
After you have kids, ginger ale just tastes better.
It just gives you, revitalizes you. I don't know how, but it's just so good.
All right, what's your favorite brand?
Canada Dry.
You just like my mother.
Canada Dry.
Just like my
Schweppes
mother.
is not. It ain't got enough.
What?
Ain't got enough bite in it.
What?
Seagrams tastes like probably water. At this
Now,
point. With a little
Seagrams, I get. That's like the most watered version.
Yeah. Look
But
like they.
Schweppes?
No, it don't have enough.
That's the most.
It don't have enough bite. Yeah. Canada Dry.
You ever had organic ginger ale?
Nah, I'm good.
I had some from this lady at our church, and it, like when you drink it, it almost tastes spicy because you could take like it was made with real ginger.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I'm good on that. I've had ginger ale that's in like the glass containers. I don't know what brand it is, but like from the farmer's market. And that was pretty good, but it still didn't have the bite though. In the back of the throat, you feel like your illnesses is being healed. But yeah, man, it's a lot. There's a lot going on right now.
In terms of
Life.
oh.
Yeah, we gotta have another baby.
Y'all having another baby. So that's what we done spent like 30 minutes just kind of just giving background information. And I'm fine with that, but I wanted to kind of pick your brain about being a mom. Obviously, I'm not one.
Nor will you ever be.
Nor will I ever be. And again, I don't even have a girlfriend, let alone a wife.
Take your time.
You just said
it's expensive. It's expensive. No, I'm not
the wife
saying
part or the children part.
just everything. Everything's expensive. The living, breathing. You live at the house, like they be saying. You spend $100 just off the
dog. Since I got this car,
you've been tripping.
Oh my god! Since I got this car, like I have this rule that I don't like. I like to drive with a full tank of gas. So my rule is, if I'm at half a tank, I'm on E. My car's getting ready to break down. So a lot of times I don't even like letting it go past a quarter of a tank. And I didn't realize how often I was filling up for gas because of that rule. And I really don't want to break that rule, because I feel like the one time I do break that rule,
you're gonna be pushing your car down the
street. Right, because I'm gonna be having to spend an arm and a leg to refill it back up.
Funny, I hate going to the gas station, so my car's on E. It's on E till Julian come back home, because I can't.
Well, so I get that, because I don't even, if I'm with a woman, whether it's like my sister, my mother, whoever, I don't let her pump her own gas regardless. So
yeah.
I can understand that.
It's just, but I've always been that way. I just hate going to the gas station.
It's because of the weirdos?
No, it's just because I just don't like. It just feel mundane. Like, why isn't my car getting its own gas? Like, it just,
why can't it take itself?
Yeah, like why can't I drive it? And then like but so I try not to like let it go past, and I'll let him know, hey, I need gas, and he'll go get it. But I just hate the gas station. Then it's dirty, and people be sneezing and coughing, and then touching the thing. It's just then I gotta walk around with gloves.
I keep a thing of hand sanitizer in the car.
Yeah, I do too. But it's
I love, so most of the time I like going to the gas station for snacks. Because you'll find, especially like in the hood, you'll find
Wawa.
But I'll go to Wawa or like Royal Farms for like actual food.
Oh yeah.
But I'm talking like just a regular run of the mill, like a Shell or a Sunco.
Can't relate.
It's like you'll find snacks there that you won't find at like a 7-Eleven or a CVS or a Giant.
I'm like, what?
So now this was before I started cutting all this stuff out.
Yeah, don't go back to the way it used to be.
I found a lot of healthy alternatives to a lot of what I ate, especially because my issue was sweets a lot of times. So you wouldn't catch me eating a lot of chips or a lot of salty things, but you'll catch me with some. I love oatmeal cream pies. That's my favorite snack cake of all time.
I think that's what we got you for your birthday last year.
Yeah, man, I was so happy. But yes, I'll go to the gas station for just like snack cakes or I love, so now this I still do, and I will keep doing it until I die. Slushies. I don't like 7-Eleven Slurpees. Well, I like 7-Eleven Slurpees, but ever since I started going back to gas station slushies, 7-Eleven Slurpees don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer, like, you can't tell me a slushie isn't better than a Slurpee.
I don't really prefer either one.
What do you like, a Italian ice or a sorbet?
No, I like water ice.
Water ice. I don't know. Okay, now I do know what water ice is.
I was about to say,
I've had it before.
Please don't do
I've
this.
had it before. The second time I went to Philly, I did have water ice.
Yeah, water ice. I don't really do slushies. It's not the same. Rita's is not the same.
I would say because water ice is basically just shaved ice with the syrup and all that stuff, right?
No.
In essence, what is it? In essence,
it's I don't know what it is, but it's delicious and it's not that. Shaved ice is like snow cones. Rita's is like watered, the very watered dollar store version of water ice.
Okay, that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
it's
right not the same.
That's pretty crazy.
It doesn't give. You gotta go King's, Fred's, even a corner store. If they have the Philadelphia water ice sign outside of it, they'll have some good water ice. Mm-hmm. It's thicker. It's full of flavor. It'll fill you up a little bit with the little pizza pretzel, or pretzel with the hot mustard.
I've never had pretzel with mustard. I've had pretzels so I've never tried it with mustard. So I'll put that on my list.
So we should just all go to Philadelphia one day, and I'll help
One day.
You. One day.
That's just Monday.
He goes like,
oh my god.
And I'll just help you navigate.
But
your life will be changed if you didn't have King's or Fred's or the corner stores with the Philadelphia water ice sign outside of it.
Most of the time, I'm one of those people that I like to go to restaurants that were on TV.
So where did you get this water ice from?
No, the water ice I just got from just a regular. I can't remember where I was.
Okay.
But it was just like a run in the mill, just something like that had it. But the times that I went to Philly, I was going there for full. I was going there for the cheesesteaks.
Yes. Where did you get a cheesesteak from?
First time I went to Tony Luke's.
Which not bad. On South Street?
Wherever it was on Man. It was on Man versus Food.
Okay.
That's why I went. And then the second time I went to Pat's and Geno's.
Not that.
They had one from each. I can't remember which I preferred. And then the third time I went, it was from this because we went to Restoration Church because they have a location in Philly now.
Okay.
And it was the cheesesteak was just trash, but that one wasn't on TV. It was just a place that they had all went to before, so I wanted to give it a try. It was not good. So far, the best food that I've had when I went to Philly was from this spot called Reading Terminal Market.
Yeah.
And I had the place was called DeNick's. And this is when I was still eating pork, because they have what's called a roast pork sandwich.
Hey, you was eating the swan like it was fine, nah, man.
Because it was, and it sure was divine. I'll tell you that much.
Ew. And
that joint was. I saw why people put it right up to a cheesesteak, in terms of
I can't relate. I don't eat pork.
Well, I don't eat pork anymore either, so it's
yeah,
okay.
But even when I ate pork, I didn't eat that.
Okay, that's fine. You was missing out.
It's pork bacon, that's about it. Moving on from this pork,
Right, 'cause I'm gonna get hungry.
pork epidemic.
I'm gonna get hungry.
Ew.
Look, she said she's making us fish for lunch, which will basically be like early dinner for me. Cause like once I eat, I'm leaving.
You know what? Funny, they didn't have any salmon at Aldi.
So I'm gonna just have to eat a regular salad, just raw salad.
No, I'll probably make a burger. Funny.
Turkey burger.
No.
Beef.
Beef.
So I can have a beef.
I didn't say you could have it. I'm saying that's what we have. So that's what I'm gonna make.
Right, but I can eat that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna eat it.
But
You're gonna eat it.
Right, but you was trying to look. She was coming at me yesterday because when I called her yesterday because we were talking about this. She tried to come for me because the last time I was here, I had burgers.
Because he wasn't supposed to have that, and
yes,
he didn't.
I was.
Ryan,
like,
you specifically,
beef.
y'all.
What are you talking about?
He specifically told me after he ate his first burger, saying, "Oh, you know, I'm not really supposed to eat this. My mom probably would have been tripping." And
I
I'm
was
like,
saying that as a laugh.
I
I can eat.
Oh,
beef.
you're gonna have.
First of all,
you're gonna have you. Do you say your mom's name on your podcast?
Yeah.
You're gonna have Yvonne out here tripping on me. Because you sat up here. Hold on. I think that's my baby. Child.
You gonna bring her in here?
She's just waking up.
You gonna bring her in?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, while she does that, I'm gonna go ahead and get into our first sponsor for today. Hey guys, I want you guys to think about something real quick. I want you guys to think about taking care of yourselves. What does that imply? It means taking care of yourself mentally. It means taking care of yourself physically. It means taking care of yourself emotionally, spiritually, all that. Okay? Really what I'm saying, it's self-care. That's what I'm talking about. And we would like to take this time to thank our first sponsor, Body Treats by K, who specializes in self-care. Self-care through body care. Okay? It's that simple. And what Body Treats by K is going to do, they're going to provide you with fun, effective, and delicious smelling products to help you take care of yourself and take that self-care to the next level. They offer body scrubs, bath milks, body butter bars, body shimmers, self-care accessories such as ebooks and things of that nature, and their crowd favorite lip lattes that leave your lips exfoliated and soft. And we all love a soft lip. You know what I'm saying? And now let me just list off some of the ingredients of some of their products. Cane sugar, shea butter, grapeseed oil, avocado oil, cocoa butter, and so many more beneficial ingredients that will make your body definitely say thank you for taking care of me. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to go to Body Treats by K, bodytreatsbyk.com, and let K treat your body. We thank Body Treats by K for sponsoring this episode of the Thank You Five podcast. Now back to the conversation. Okay, we're back, guys. She just no, because I said after I ate I was gonna leave. No, but like since
I never known Ryan to want to go places, be out in a timeline so bad until you got this car.
Yo, because people don't understand how much I don't like crowds.
Yeah, but you gotta still be patient. Don't let your car make you impatient. And
It doesn't make me impatient, but it's so convenient to say when I feel the need to go, I can just leave. Church is a little drawn out. The spirit ain't there no more. I can just step off.
I'm dead.
Like, and I'm saying, like, not to say like the service ain't the service no more, but it's like after the service.
Bishop, you hear this?
After the service, people talk, and they talk for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
So now I don't have to wait for. Right, especially in COVID. I'm like, y'all staying longer than we didn't have COVID. We didn't have COVID.
Yeah. Because they haven't seen it, so they thinking this is a safe space.
We didn't have COVID. We couldn't get y'all out long enough.
Right.
We have a second service. Oh, I gotta go do my thing. And now this benediction, people want. Oh, can't we have a social distance second service?
Right.
Like, where was this energy at? So
it's
that's
because they know the answer is no.
Yeah, but that's what I mean by I'm not leaving prematurely,
Mm-hmm.
but now I don't have to draw things out anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm in situations now and I need to skedaddle, I can.
Like, bye.
Right.
You ain't got to start looking around for your ride.
Right.
Like, you ready to go? No, I'm staying. Like,
And it's definitely going to help with going into school this year, because I was telling him on the phone, Julian on the phone, that this semester is the semester of no.
Yeah, you were telling me.
I don't want to be in nobody's productions. I don't want to be in nobody's scenes for class. Nothing. I'm going to school. If they let me on campus, I'm going to class.
What do you mean if they let you on campus?
Because like the whole cause they're trying like hybrid stuff. So.
Oh. Dang.
So like I think they're not letting unvaccinated people on campus. So I have my vaccination card. I need to upload it, and then they can be like, all right, you're cleared. But yeah, going to school, because before, a lot of times because I was in the band or I was in a production, my class could be at like 11 a.m. But rehearsal ain't until like 5:30.
And so you have to be there.
I would have to be there the entire time. I can only have the one class. And it'd be worse if I get there and the class is canceled.
Right.
So now I'm just there, just lollygagging for hours at a time. And nobody wants to study the whole time. So you find things to do. And I can go there, do what I gotta do. Y'all good? All right. I'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.
And I can just go.
Yeah, when I was commuting, I'm trying to think, when I was commuting to school.
Did you ever live on campus?
Yeah, I lived on campus. I lived off campus.
I've never lived on campus either.
I lived in freshman dorms, and then I lived in a dorm again sophomore year, and then junior year I got an apartment off campus, and senior year I was in an apartment off campus, and then I was a fifth year child going into a 17th year because Temple don't let me take my last couple classes without paying my bill.
What is your degree in?
Kinesiology. So
physical stuff, like
pre-physical therapy.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So man, I could have been helping you out.
What year were you? Right. What year were you when you met him?
2013, my second year of college. Sophomore.
Year did I start dating?
We didn't start dating until.
I'm asking. What year did I start?
2018, Julian.
Oh, y'all developed that friendship.
Yeah, we didn't start dating till after he graduated. And that was 2017. And I know I just said that, and then see how you in my podcast episode? You already had your episode, okay? So 2017 he graduated. He was gone and living his life like it was golden for a year, and then we reconnected again. April.
He said, "Hey, you know what I'm saying?"
Right. April 2018.
Build something with you.
Yeah, called me, came to serve. Y'all know the story. Go on our channel. You'll see the story there. I'm not going to rehash this on his podcast. But the bottom line is, young boy, he was trying to really get at me. He thought I would. He saw me, I had the Holy Ghost.
He said, "Girl,
my life changed."
He said, "Girl, that praise."
I lost a lot. I lost a lot of weight because I had a lot of horrible relationship weight that I had to get rid of. And horrible relationship traumas I had to get rid of. Another story for another day.
You let this man get you pregnant twice.
Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? That's love. That's what that is. Because I had plans, Ryan. I can't talk about the plans on your podcast. You can talk about it afterwards. I had plans, but this is before I was saved.
This is for the bonus episode,
okay.
For the Patreon. if I get a Patreon, y'all can get the bonus stuff.
I had plans, but clearly God blocked those. But I'm happy now. But anyway. So,
I think it was just him, honestly. I think he just had his own agenda. I don't think it was...
No, we had a consensus. We both wanted kids. But for me, in my mind, I was like, I went through all this work to lose all this weight. Hold on now, I gotta figure something out. And then the second baby definitely we really had to come to a conversation. Because I was dealing with postpartum depression, I was dealing with weight gain,
so postpartum.
Child, the devil. That's what that was. The adversary.
I know like maybe the borderline of possibly a fraction of the surface level underneath the surface of what postpartum consists of.
So postpartum is just the time period after you have a baby.
Right.
So postpartum depression is the mindset, what plagues your mind during that time frame. It could be up to, till your kid's 5. Some people just let it get that bad. The devil is a liar. In my case. But, so I had Aubrey, and I was tired. TMI for those who, I don't know, they're squeamish. I had a really bad tear from pushing Aubrey out that had stitches for and everything. Then I retore because I was coming up the steps at our apartment, coming home from the hospital without Aubrey because she was in the NICU.
Right.
And slipped up the steps, and I retore, like ripped the stitches.
Wow.
Didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
Just thought it was just normal for me to be feeling this in pain. Realized when I went to my appointment that my stitches were torn. It was healing wrong. Ooh. So my doctor essentially had to reopen the scar tissue.
Reopen it to re-stitch it together.
Yeah. Going through that. Going through, looking at my body and being like, what is this? This is not what I had before.
Yeah.
Clearly. But just wasn't prepared for that.
Did it mess up the relationship between you and Aubrey?
It had the potential to. It didn't. Thank God. Because so the thing about postpartum depression that people don't realize is that you love your baby, right? Instinctively. But because of what you have going on in your mind and the outlook you have on everything, it gives this skewed perception of what is happening. So a newborn is going to cry. That's their way of expressing what they need. But in someone who has postpartum depression, it's like, and I told him this before, my husband this before, like, it's like if you hear a baby cry, it's like, oh, the baby's crying. But for me, it was like a siren, like a fire alarm going off that was just like, please make it stop. It was trippy because it was like, I know she's crying because she's a baby, but it's so much, everything's more intense. So it didn't affect the relationship with Aubrey from what I know. I mean, she loves me now. But it had the potential to do that.
Right.
Because if I allowed it to determine if I was going to be around her, if I was going to pick her up, if I was going to, there were times when I remember going to the supermarket to get food, and I would be riding in my car, and I don't know if you remember, at our old apartment, the supermarket was literally around the corner.
Right.
I would have thoughts of not coming back and being like, okay, so if I just keep driving,
like,
I don't know.
You don't have to deal with this ever again.
Ever again. I don't have to deal with this ever again. I don't have to, take care of a baby. I don't have to breastfeed. I don't have to do any of this. If I just keep going down the street, and I had that. That might have been the longest lasting part of it. Was me getting in a car without Aubrey sometimes and being like, if I just go.
It's almost like, that reminds me of the one period in my life when I was suicidal. Where I'm standing there and I'm thinking, this could all end right now. You don't have to deal with this ever again if you do it.
Yeah.
And it's so, what makes a situation like that so scary is the decision is so, in that moment, the decision is so easy to make.
And it's like you don't even know how much of a task it is to not make that choice in that moment.
Yeah.
Until you're there and you're like, no, turn the car around and go home. And I would sit in the driveway in the little parking lot and just cry, like, oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus, I made this choice again. Because it was crazy. I would go to the laundry room, which was a walk away, and just be like, I just keep walking. And I'm trying not to be emotional about it, but it's scary because it's like, that was a lot of the reason why I was thinking about not having another baby. Because I was just like, I do not want to go through that same mental trauma.
And I remember that video when you guys posted that you were, everything that happened after the fact. Like, the realization, like, you're excited to show him.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't known. But once he realized, now it's just like, oh, it kind of just all came back.
Yeah. Like, because it gives so much of a potential for all of that.
Yeah.
And, we've had, I won't say arguments, but leading up to us conceiving Nathan and us being pregnant again, I was just like, I can't do this again. Aubrey came out great. I made it over the hurdle. I don't want to go through this again. And, I had to really honestly pray and ask God, like, one, what He wanted from me, and like, two, like, all right, if this is what you want from me, are you equipping me to deal with this? Because that was the real question I had.
Like you sending me into a fight with
yes.
an 8 foot tall,
I
and
I'm about to lose, man.
I only got a tennis racket.
Yeah. And I'm like, it, like, more than like, and it, because it would be deep, and I'm not that person to be like, what, God, what do you want from me? No, listen. Are you giving me the tools?
A straight answer.
Yeah. Are you giving me the tools?
Yes or no?
Not no.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way.
So, postpartum depression is hard.
Yeah.
But not impossible to manage. Not impossible, and I won't say fix, because I think that when it comes to that type of stuff, you just have to know your triggers and know the things that will prevent you from going down that level to that point. Yes, you get, and it has to do, I'm exhausted, you know, because babies sleep, but they don't sleep for 9-10 hours.
They don't sleep when you sleep.
Right, exactly. So it's just like they don't sleep in the same amount of time you've been used to. And, you know, he went back to work at a certain point, and he had things he had to do outside of the home. I was scared for him to leave. Not for Aubrey's sake, but for my sake. I'm like, if he leaves and this becomes too much, I might walk out that door.
Just leave her.
And leave her. And I had, and this is the thing too that people don't realize. You have to talk these things out with your partner or your baby daddy or whoever your support systems are, because the reality is they have to be aware of how serious this is. If you just like, I'm fine, that's when things happen. I thank God that I never had a thought to harm my baby. I never had a thought to even harm myself. I did have a thought to leave.
Yeah. I
did have a thought to, I'm getting out of here.
And it is, from what I see, because again, I don't know anything about this, and I can only go from what my observation is, that even with the conversations between Julie and myself about these experiences, the line of communication is that open.
Yeah.
You can be transparent enough to him to and he's open enough and even saved enough, both of y'all, to take it.
Yeah. And not internalize it as it's because of him.
Right.
Because I think initially, because we had a hard going into second year of marriage. Like, we were celebrating our second year of marriage, and we're like, yay, or our first, technically our first year of marriage, going into our second, and from the outside looking in, it was like, yay, we were married for a year, great. And then it's, in it, we like, Negro, listen, like, I'm about to call this thing quits, because it was a combination of my postpartum depression and us not communicating well and us wanting the best for each other, but not understanding that it had to be outside of what our personal feelings or objectives or, wants were.
See, people don't, and I'm glad that I can see that and I understand it, because even it goes into like just my relationship, my friendships, or even like relationships with my parents. It's so much not about feelings a lot of times. It's about personal feelings. There's so much sacrifice that goes into this, and sometimes people don't get it. They're like, you have a right to feel how you feel. Absolutely, you have a right to feel how you feel. Never neglect how you feel. However, if you react off of your feelings, it's never going to end well. It's never going to end well.
And sometimes it's not even, your feelings have the ability to skew the truth of the situation.
Yeah.
Because it can be 75% true on my end and 75% true on his end, but nobody's 100% honest. So it's like, okay, we're not getting to the root of the issue. We're not getting to what we need to work on. And that's why I really, really encourage people to get a counselor, to get marital leadership advice, like people who know this thing in and out and are not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Yeah. Because
the reality is like, oh, just get through it. Don't give me that stupid advice. That's not advice to me. It's not just to get through it. What are the tools?
And sometimes prayer ain't enough either.
Yes. Because I think that people think that prayer and action go together.
Right.
So I'm praying about something and then I'm not even honest with how I'm really feeling about things, I'm praying amiss, essentially. I'm praying for something else because I don't want to really be honest and transparent with God and tell him what's really going on with me. When the reality is he already knows what's going on with me. Yeah, them kids is tripping. But it's like, it's more than prayer. What action goes after you pray?
Right.
And what is God instructing you to do after that, or instructing you to say after that? Because sometimes the weight of whatever the situation is can be relieved from you actually just being honest and just releasing that weight and saying, all right, this hurts. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm angry at you, Lord. I'm angry at this person. I'm angry at the people that you got around me that are supposed to talk to me.
That's good. People don't understand.
Yeah.
Being angry with God is a real thing.
Yeah.
It is easy to be angry with him.
Yeah. And it's like God is obviously the head of my life.
Right.
But we got to be real. Like, okay.
He's not going to do everything that you want.
Right. In the way that you want.
And you're going to be upset about that.
Mm-hmm. And if you are transparent, it's not that he doesn't know that you're upset with him, but you revealing the contents of your heart is a sacrifice that you have to make for him to really take over that bit and piece, to really put himself in that spot that you didn't think was vacant, but is vacant, or is missing, or is not complete. So,
because it's almost as if he'll say like, "Yo, I was waiting for you to say something."
Right.
Like, because sometimes we think that we're not allowed to be angry with God, and when we go to him in prayer, we have to go to him with such reverence, and it's like, right,
Jesus.
In reality, because a lot of people don't understand prayer. When you're praying, it's almost as if this conversation is right now,
right?
And sometimes them prayers be a little more intense than others when you're pissed, and it's just like, ugh. And it's at those moments where he's just like, all right, you got it out, cool, here's what I'm gonna do for you next,
right?
Here's how I'm gonna fix it now that you've been honest, because sometimes we're not completely honest.
How can just think of it naturally, if you're not honest, how can people trust you to be or do something,
or how are they supposed to know what to do? And
honestly, what it is that the capabilities are. God knows our capabilities, but there are instances where we aren't aware of what we're capable of because we have such a small, minute piece of godly understanding.
Yeah.
So it's just like, how is he asking me to do this? How is he?
Because he knows you can do
Because he
it.
knows you can do it. But yeah, that's good and everything. But okay. Can you just give me just a little bit more insight?
And it's so now I'll say, in terms of the faith aspect of it, because like that requires a lot of faith and trust, because it's like you don't know what's going to happen next. Same thing with your marriage or with your children. You don't know how the thing is going to be as an infant, like just in terms of just personality. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we declare that he'll be healthy. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know how he's just going to act. Like, you don't know what aspects of you or him he's going to have.
But I think the biggest thing when it comes to parenting that I've been learning in this season, I can't really tell you how long it's been, and I'll maybe say since January, is that I have to look to God for everything. And that it's not just, that sounds really deep, but like for real, literally, like waking up and being like, okay, God, what is it that you want from me today? Because what it allows me to kind of release is this responsibility of me being perfect because of me, but me trying to make the situation perfect because of God's perfection.
It also relieves a lot of that stress of worrying.
Yes, and if things don't go the way I thought it should go,
then you have to say it's okay.
Yeah, and it's all right. And I think that's, especially parents of toddlers, I think sometimes we want to control. We want to put that there, put this there, stop messing with this. And honestly, that's not really what you need to do right now.
Yeah.
Maybe observe, maybe see what your child is doing, why they're doing it, why they're reacting how they're reacting. I did a blog post, you guys can go read it if you feel so led. Some people don't like reading, but yeah, it was about how
I like reading.
we're weaning Aubrey, and I've been trying to do this since January, and I've had so many false starts because of so much of me. I wanted it to happen. I was sick of nursing. I was sick of this. I was tired of being up at night. I. This time around, in my prayer, in my studying, I said, well, God, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? And we've gone over a week of it being essentially easy.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, because I took myself out of the equation. Even if it was me being the person that was nursing, I'm still God's vessel. So if I take myself out the equation, Lord, you got to do this, because you promised me that this process of parenthood was going to be easy, and it ain't feeling easy right now. He said, yep, I definitely did say that. You definitely addressed it. So let me give you the tools to do it my way.
Yeah.
And parenthood is a lot more of what God says than what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my day-to-day is not me-centered anymore, because what does it have to do with? What do I got to do?
Come on here.
No, for real.
That's right.
And that's the only way, and I told Julian this too, because he went back to work last week. It's the only way for me to get through a week of having my child, from sun up to when he gets off of work to sundown.
Yeah.
Only God can do that. Only God can do that. Only he made last week simple for me. I'm not even supposed to be picking Aubrey up because I'm pregnant and she's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Only God made that easy for me.
Right.
We've went out to stores. We've been to the farm. We've been to the park. She's had gymnastics class. She's had the time of her life. Okay.
That's the last thing I want to get in, because we've been
rapping.
We've been belaboring.
Hey.
So I want you to, because I think we've given y'all enough of like the heavy stuff. Now I want to give you guys some lighthearted stuff. Talk about while I go to the restroom.
Oh.
Talk about how the relationship with you and Aubrey has grown because of really everything. Because one thing I've always said, and whether I was talking in the conversation with other people or just y'all and just saying it to myself, is the dynamic between you and her, and then her and Julian. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful how much she loves both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying, that's Julian and her are best friends. But that's
Literally.
not to say you and her aren't just as close.
Right.
And it is such a beautiful thing to have that, and early.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, she's still a baby.
right. And for her to feel as strongly as she does for both of you, it is amazing to see. Seeing how she would interact with him when she didn't even start walking yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then once she started walking, it was like this. It was a whole new thing. Because now, she's so active.
Yeah.
So obviously she keeps you guys on your feet and all that stuff. But she's genuinely having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely see her crying because she's sad about something or something really bad has happened. Yes, I'm here. Hi. She's awake now, guys.
She's drooling and everything.
Aubrey is awake now.
Hi.
She just looked at me because she heard somebody talking. We were talking about you. If you have something to say, Aubrey, feel free to chime in whenever you like.
Hi, baby.
I'm sweating, love.
She was sleeping good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I've never seen her in like a bad mood. Obviously, our relationship has kind of Aubrey ain't like me. Aubrey ain't started liking starting out, and Julian explained to why, and it makes sense. And we've gotten so much closer since then. Even in our small interactions. But she's doing better. Does she let other people hold her now, like other men?
Yeah.
When he's around?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna push my luck.
You might be in a good space.
I don't know.
She woke up to your voice. That might be a good sign. She didn't wake up crying.
Right.
That would have been like a.
All right. And thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. But
I think quarantine played a big part in why she is the way that she is. Because she got to spend an equal amount of time with Julian and I. And on a day-to-day basis, she saw me, she saw him, she saw how we operate. And the beautiful thing was, you know, the beautiful thing is that she integrated herself into it. So for us, it was easy to, I don't know, make a life with Aubrey.
Yeah.
And she's such a unique baby. Like, she doesn't act like Julian or me. She acts like Julian and me.
Yeah.
So
A lot of times you can't even say who you got that
exactly.
from.
So it's so fun to have her because it's just like she's so musical and her personality is so goofy and silly and, you know, inquisitive, and she's just so smart. So
She's really smart. Yeah.
Yes.
We're saying you're really smart. Because the last time,
She's like, hold on, they're talking about me.
the last time I saw you was at a baptism, and you and I had a full blown conversation.
Yeah, she's very talkative,
Come talk.
very active. She loves to learn new things and, you know, new activities. So I don't know. She changed our life, like,
For the better.
I'll say, like, she just changed our life, period.
Yeah.
For the better, yes, but, like, I can't imagine life without her being here. And that's the beauty of parenthood. It's like, what would life have been if I didn't become a parent? If I didn't become her mom? And even if I didn't go through all the things I went through to get her here, to have her, and to be in this place with her. So, parenthood is one of those trippy things where it's just like, oh, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's great. But overall, it's the most unexplainably amazing thing.
I wish we could. Like, we've been going for a while. But this has been one of the best conversations.
Aww.
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Julian's looking crazy.
Notice I didn't say the best, but
He
one of the
said one
best.
of the best. Wow. He said he didn't say that.
In
He
Julian's
said-
defense, all of our great conversations happen
off,
in private.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Not on
Not
the
on the
mic.
podcast.
Y'all talk a lot more or regularly.
Yeah.
So
And it seems like every time I would talk to Bree, like the conversations would get longer and longer, and I would just learn a lot more.
yeah,
So
true.
thank you, Bree. Like, this was great.
You're welcome.
Where can the
Thanks
people-
for having me.
Where can the people find you at?
Instagram at Bria Joy Spires. You can go to my website, BriaJoySpires.com. If you need a blog to get into, if you need a podcast to get into, I have Lady and Friends, the podcast. Website also has resources for motherhood and wifehood and just womanhood, spiritual resources and scriptures and studies. Definitely find me in the Earth Mom Organics Bump Squad, where I promote and kind of give you guys the insight on their products at Earth Mama Organics on Instagram. That about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. For the people that are subscribed, I'm thinking about starting a Patreon, so you'll get your benefits. I'm thinking about making it just $2. $2 Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You'll get all the extra stuff once I figure out what the extra stuff is. But with that, make sure you subscribe to all the Bria's platforms.
Aubrey, you
May
have
the Lord,
something to say?
Aubrey, you got something to say? If all hearts and minds are clear,
Yeah.
May the grace of God and the sweet communion of the Holy Ghost
Rest,
rule,
rule,
and
and
abide
abide.
with you now, henceforth, and forever. Thank you, Bria, and thank you, Five. Say bye, Aubrey.
Nothing.